it's this moment right now that is really important. And yet, you know, we always seem to think about outcomes and expectations. And then, you know, you get this favorite bumper sticker of what would Jesus do. You know, for us, I think it's what would Jesus have done, because we're already repenting about how we reacted to the situation. So, how do we get to this process where we behave beforehand? And in my business, we train our salespeople that, and this is for everybody, that if you visualize the outcome, more often than not, it'll happen. And this is true in golf and sports and everything where, you know, Tiger Woods visualizes the shot before he even strikes the ball. And this is the same in life, is that before you get into a situation, like you know you're going to go to a sensitive situation, you visualize what you want the outcome to be beforehand, so that when you get into the moment, you've already rehearsed it in your mind, and more than likely it will happen. Believe it or not, the human species is the only living species in the entire universe. You can look at the plant, well, this is fake, but living plants, ants, roaches, animals, mammals, everything. They cannot make choices. The human being is the only species that between the stimuli and the response, or the situation and the reaction, you have that moment, whether it's 1 microsecond, or 1 day, or 1 week, to tell yourself, this is how I'm going to behave. Well, anyway, when I shared this with Franco, Keith, and Pastor Nando, so he throws this question. By the way, he's a great pastor and teacher. Thank you. Well, just before I got here, I said, you know, how did I get into this situation where I got stuck with this, you know? And the other reason is because I really want to thank Kyle. You know, he takes the burden off of me as far as sound, because when I get there, it's all shaken down, it works, I just got to get up there and run the sound system. So, big hand for unsung heroes. So anyway, Pastor asked me, he says, so what do we do? How do we get to this point? And so I thought for a moment and I said, the way to get through it is in every situation, think of being of service. Think of being of service. And if we think with that in mind of how can I serve, because we're serving God really, the outcome will be more than likely a better outcome than, you know, what would Jesus would have done. And I know I'm the boring guy because I didn't have video or anything. So I'll end with this because I got this just before, while we were practicing music. So Keith and I always share a lot about our wives because we got this, you know, it's always with our wives that we have, or relationships that we have this thing, you know. We're so nice to our neighbors, we're so nice to our friends, but as soon as we get into the four walls, right, it's, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it really pushes our buttons like a computer, you know, it's pre-programmed, and I was telling Keith, it's a subconscious mind. So how do we get out of that? And so Keith brought up this analogy that is just classic. He went to the men's Bible study on Tuesday, and it was about serving. And so the next night, he came home and you know, he's sharing a lot of stuff. I said, do you argue with your wife every week? He said, every day? What are you talking about? So he says, but something really happened great on Wednesday, you know. That night in the evening, after the dishes was washed and everything, she was laying down and she was saying, oh, my feet is so sore. And Keith is already broiling, like, I don't know what she wants me to do, you know. She wants me to massage her legs and feet. And he said, he caught himself. And he looked at her with a different perspective. And he felt like he was just a disciple washing Jesus' feet. And he said he really didn't mind doing it, and his wife really appreciated it. So this guy is getting it. So to close, the message is, it's how we act moment by moment by moment. And as I was sharing with Thane last week, it's always maintaining being cool on the fire. Because you don't want to get through it and then think, what would have Jesus done? Okay, thank you very much.